Critic. I'm Tim McKinney.
I'm Andrew Nelson.
And today we're going to be talking about horror movies, the classic ones.
The good ones.
Yeah, the good ones, man.
So does this constitute as our Halloween special? Got a fancy blue pumpkin?
Exactly, man. Exactly. And this week, what we're going to do in this show today is we're going to look at the classic horror films, okay? And then next week, okay, for the Halloween special, because we got 2 weeks worth of Halloween special.
Two-parter.
Exactly, man. We're going to look at the modern horror films next week. And that should be fun. You know what I mean? Because of some of the crazy stuff we've come up with these days. But what we're going to do is we're going to look at the top 10 horror movies, okay, that we think are the top 10 horror movies. And we're going to talk about it, and we're going to see what we can figure out about the movies, and we're going to give them a little rating for you guys, and then you guys go out and get the movies. Okay? Now his top 10 might be a little different than mine, but we're going to say it's about the same. Okay?
Pretty much, we just got together, discussed it, and then wrote the top 10 down.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So we don't have long, drawn-out discussions on, oh, this is better than that.
Yeah, exactly.
All for you.
So what we're going to look at first here is we're going to look at our number 10 movie, classic horror movie, and that's going to be Phantasm. Phantasm, yes. Now, when I was growing up as a kid, my brother and my sister, they would go and they would get this movie Phantasm, okay? They would put that in the VCR, and they would put it on, and it would scare me halfway, till next year. I was scared half to death of this movie. Well, when I got older, I watched the movie, and it didn't seem as scary, but it still scared me pretty good. Scary. Yeah. Now, have you ever seen Phantasm? I don't know if you've ever...
Actually...
Or has it been a while, actually?
Many years ago.
Yeah, it's actually a hard movie to find.
Oh,
right now.
I believe that.
Because if you go to any video store or whatever, and you ask them, they're like, what movie? You know?
Yeah, I haven't even heard of it.
Yeah, it's one of those movies, but in my book, it's a classic. Okay?
Oh,
and
what I remember. I remember pretty good.
And this movie, basically, it looks at this guy they call the Tall Man, or whatever. He's this white-haired, older guy driving a hearse around and taking people. And from what I understand from the movie, if I can remember right about the movie, because it's been a while since I've seen the movie, actually, because, like I said, every time you go to look for it or something...
Everyone has it.
Yeah, exactly. And but it's a really good movie, and the movie is based on this guy. He's stealing, their souls,
Oh.
And he's, putting them in, a purgatory type thing. And stealing the bodies and all this stuff with this hearse and stuff. It's just freaky, It's really off there, off the wall.
I don't remember the hearse.
No, you don't remember the hearse there?
No.
The Tall Man and
I remember the Tall Man. I remember him going around in a hearse.
Yeah, he went around in a hearse and he would get people and stuff.
It has been a long time.
Well, then they made and then of course like they do with all horror movies, they made it 2, 3, 4, and all that, and the part 2, the guy had the double shotguns taped together and all, all that stuff. But yeah, Phantasm, I think is a pretty good movie. Now as far as horror movies go, I would say it's up there on the list. But I would only give Phantasm probably 2.5 stars. Is probably what I would give it.
Yeah, 2.5 sounds.
Yeah, because it's like we talked about last week with the Mirror Mask. It's kind of one of those movies that you got to really kind of dig for different things in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's
sometimes enjoy that, but they should re-release it. Cause I'm sure a lot of people like to see it, and a lot of people like me saw it when they were young and really can't remember it all that well.
Exactly, man. And it's as far as horror movies go, and that's what we're going to be talking about next week. The modern ones. I would have to say it's probably 5-10 times better than any movie that you find out there now.
Oh, most the classics are.
Yeah,
hands down.
Yeah. So but I would give it. What I gave it, and I would tell you guys to go out and see it. If you've never seen it before, go out and see it, and try that out. And it's not too bad of a movie, and it's something to watch in the dark.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Most horror movies are best watched.
Exactly, my friend. Number 9. It took me a while to figure out with number 9 what movie I really wanted in there. You know what I mean? And so I looked around and I thought about it, a while, and I came up with Carrie. I think Carrie is a. It's not really what I call a horror movie, really. It's more of like a thriller. you know, like a suspenseful thriller. Even though she has all these mystical powers and can move stuff.
Pyrokinesis.
Yeah, stuff like that. It's still kind of more, I would say, a thriller because it doesn't really... It's not right in your face horror. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like Phantasm is or something like that. But I thought, you know, Sissy Spacek plays in that, of course, you know, and she's pretty good. She played Loretta Lynn in Coal Miner's Daughter and different movies like that, and I thought that was a little bit of a stretch for her there, but it was a good movie. I thought it was a pretty good movie.
Coal Miner's Daughter was a stretch, or Carrie was a stretch?
No, Carrie was kind of.
Oh, okay, well.
Oh, I don't know. You know, it depends on the way you look at it. That's another show for another movie for another time. You know, but you know,
discussion for another show.
Yeah, exactly. You know, because maybe we could look at that. You know, backwoods movies. You know, yeah, you never know. But I thought Carrie was, you know, just more of a thriller, had more of a suspenseful thing.
Well, everybody remembers that scene at the prom where she gets the blood. Spilled on her, and she's standing there, and all the doors closed, and she ends up burning them. Yeah, that's something everybody remembers.
That was intense. Yeah.
Who doesn't want telekinesis to move things around and just make things burst into flames? Yeah, exactly. I want those powers.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there you go. Tell me what you would do with them, man.
I don't need those powers. I'm good at setting things on fire.
But no, I mean, as far as the movie goes, you know, suspense, thriller, and all that, I thought it was a pretty good movie.
So did I.
I mean, and then there again, there's another modern movie that they've made, like a part 2 to.
Yeah.
And Carrie the Rage or something like that. Is there 3 out now? You mean they went that far with it, huh?
I believe so.
Oh, boy. We'll have to look for that for the next show or something, maybe, you know, and try to see if we can't maybe figure that one out or something here. But yeah, I mean, Carrie, you know, and that's there you go, you know, remakes and then second movies onto it, and that, you know,
sequel after sequel, and then prequels.
Exactly, man, exactly. You know, and it just messes up everything in the original because you remember seeing it in a certain way, and then they go adding things to it, you know, and it just kind of messes it up. But Carrie, I would say, judging from a standpoint of thriller, suspense, I would probably give Carrie 3.5 stars. I would say
I'd just give it 3.
3? You say 3? Okay.
It's not really a scary horror. It's more of a thriller.
Yeah, it's more of a could it happen type thing, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? Number 8 again. It was kind of a mix up of what I wanted to put in there, you know what I mean? And this guy's movies, I mean, they're something else. I mean, I could do a top 10 list of just his movies, you know, Stephen King.
Oh,
yeah.
The Living Dead movie.
No, Stephen King, man. If Stephen King, man, we should probably do a show one day, or you know, one week or something on just Stephen King.
That's a good idea.
Because, I mean, he's got a lot of them out there.
I mean, the movies and the TV shows and the mini-series.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, we might even do it. And as a matter of fact, if you want to write in and you think it's a good idea for us to do a Stephen King show, you know, with all Stephen King, then you're more than welcome to do so.
There's ideas.
Exactly.
All the time.
You know, there should be an email address at the bottom of your screen, you know, if you want to email us.
Right now?
Yeah.
Right here.
Andy and his showing everything off there. But anyway, back to number 8. I'm getting off track here.
Yeah, I'd say way off track.
Yeah, but number 8, I just happen to like Stephen King movies. That's something I like. But
who doesn't?
But Pet Cemetery.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I would say that's number 8 in my book. I mean,
Herman Munster.
Yeah, Herman Munster, and there's a doctor and that. And what freaked me out the most about this movie is when the little boy is standing in front of the semi. And the semi hits him.
Yeah.
Oh, it just
see the sheet rolling.
Yeah, and then the other part in like the hospital or whatever, where the guy with the messed up head comes popping up and you know or shows up, you know, or whatever. Oh, that just freaked me out. You know what I mean? When I was like, because you know I was still young. I don't know, I'm about 12, 13 years old when that came out or whatever there. And it just, I don't know, you know, even my father, we watched it together, me and him did, or him and I, excuse me. And
we're not picky about English here.
and anyhow, we watched it together, and he said it gave him nightmares for a while, you know. So I mean, it was a good movie. And as far as Stephen King's movies go, I think they're all really good movies, but I would have to say that one was one that really impacted me.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about it? I mean,
there were parts of it were definitely scary. I mean, was it, especially I think it was when he was with the cat.
Yeah.
For some reason, that cat just
that
freaked
was
me out.
that was where he buried everything and it comes back to life.
Yeah.
And the cat came back to life. Yeah, and then the ending of that movie got me too, where the mother is standing or she comes down out of the. Was it her? She was up in the. Am I thinking of the right one or am I thinking of the second one?
I don't know.
There's one, and I know one of them, either part 1 or part 2, where the mother's like in a sky, in like the attic or something, and she comes down and kills the dad or something in there. That's in Pet Cemetery, but I'm not, or by the refrigerator or something like that. She kills him or something, something like that. Yeah,
I think that is the first one.
Yeah, and that kind of freaked me out too, because that just came out of nowhere, and in there.
But the thing is, while it's a horror movie, you figure this guy did this thing to his son to bring him back to life, out of love for his son.
Yeah, that's true.
It's amazing how sometimes, love can actually lead to horror and then murder and mayhem and bloodshed.
That's true. That's true. I mean, a lot of the murders in history have been due to love or something like that. You know what I mean? So it makes sense, And not that I'm thinking, we're going to go bury something and it's going to come back to life or anything. I mean, that's not, I don't think that's going to happen. But I would have
the movie. It's not real.
But I'd have to give. I would have to say, and I would have to give Pet Cemetery. I would say 3 stars.
I'd say 3.5.
3.5. Yeah. Okay. 3.5's pretty good.
I like those kind of movies.
Yeah.
Definitely with the little kid, that was creepy.
Yeah, that was kind of creepy in there, but yeah, I kind of lean more to 3.5 too, like you're saying. You know what I mean? Now that I think about it, I mean, it's an interesting movie. Let's put it that way. It's a good horror movie. You know what I mean? And when I was figuring out these top 10, I was looking at other things like Pumpkinhead, some of those movies, and most of those they're good movies, like Ghoulies and different things like that. But they just have that. They don't have
Stanley Kubrick movie. What's the name of that?
Stanley Kubrick movie.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson.
The Shining?
The Shining,
yes. That's another Stephen King movie.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. We need
Stanley Kubrick directed it.
Yeah.
I knew it somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Shining, I couldn't remember that.
Yeah, exactly. We really do need to do a Stephen King.
Yeah, we do.
Big time. Yeah. We're going to set aside time to do that. We will do that. Let's go to number 7. Number 7 on the list. And as I've said throughout this whole thing, it's been kind of a hard decision because there's so many good classics out there.
There is.
And I even went back to all the way back to like the 1930s and 40s. You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking, those classics.
Boris Karloff.
Yeah, exactly. Some of them old movies that I thought were.
Lon Chaney.
Yeah, some of those were more scary because you didn't see a lot of the
Exactly.
The
Sometimes the less you see, the more scary it is.
Yeah, exactly. Like Hitchcock movies. He would leave a lot of.
That's another show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because he would leave stuff out of there. And you would think you're seeing something in the corner, but you're not, or seeing something there, but you're
shadows.
Not. Yeah, exactly. So a lot of those movies, that's kind of like that. Number 7, I would say Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh.
Yes, this movie.
Yeah.
Yes, this movie. That movie just mesmerized me when I was a kid. I don't want to say mesmerized because people are probably thinking out there, oh, he's a little weird.
Mesmerizing. People's skin.
Yeah. That's a little weird or something there.
But talk about this. I gotta talk about the sound.
Yes.
Especially that scene where Leatherface slams that kid in the head with a hammer.
Oh,
yes. His squishing.
Oh, yes.
Oh, man.
That was bad. And then the part with the chainsaw where he gets the guy in the stomach or the chest, and you can actually hear it, which we don't want to get too much on TV because, there might be kids watching or something. We don't want to, get too into it. But yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I have to say that it was an original idea.
That it was.
And it's something that could happen.
Well, they actually say it was based on a true story.
Yes.
Only it actually happened in Wisconsin.
Yeah, Ed Gein.
Ed Gein.
Ed Gein. Yeah. Yes, Ed Gein. Also, movies such as Hannibal Lecter, Silence of the Lambs, all that have been made off of Ed Gein. Yeah. It's a true story. If you ever get a chance to read that book, I've read it before, and it's a really good book about Ed Gein.
Just look it up on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. And they even have a movie out about him.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
B-movie.
But they made that movie based it off of him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and what's scary about these movies, I think, is it could happen. You know what I mean? You could get lost out in the woods, and something like this could happen to you. You know what I mean?
Anytime you see somebody wearing somebody else's skin, the bloody apron coming at you with the chainsaw, that's going to be scary.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be running the other way and not stopping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it could happen, and that's what really makes it scary. You know what I mean? Because it could happen to you. And I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre was really before its time, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because it really went in there and really did good.
People passing out in the theaters.
Yeah.
Having heart attacks. And,
it was a good movie. I would have to give that. I would definitely have to give that like 4.5 stars.
Oh, 4.5.
4.5 stars.
Nothing less.
Yes, that was a great movie, and
I think it should be up higher on the list.
Yeah, I was looking at that, but I was thinking of some of the other classics that a lot of the younger people would know about and stuff like. Of course, with the remakes and all that, they do know about it. You know what I mean? But there again, remakes.
They're not as good.
You know what I mean? Not as good. Let's go on to our number 6 film on here, and that's Halloween. Yes, old Michael Myers.
Nothing says scary like a William Shatner mask painted white.
Exactly. Hey, wait a minute. Did he play in Austin Powers?
Who, Michael?
Michael Myers.
Bad joke.
Yeah, okay. But no, I mean, Halloween, I thought it was really, really a good movie because it there again, it's something that can happen. You know what I mean? This girl's brother goes crazy and kills part of the family, and they put him in a mental institution or whatever, you know what I mean? And it goes on from there, but I mean, it's a good movie.
Yeah, it is, and one of the things is, of course, the Mike Myers music.
Yeah.
As he's coming at her.
Yeah, that music helps out a lot.
Oh,
yeah. But, I would say Halloween is, there again, they've done it a little too much. And
they got really, 2 or 3, they should just stop.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just playing it to the ground.
Exactly, because that's just another instance, ladies and gentlemen, where they've just taken and they've seen the money aspect to it more than they see
money as opposed to the substance of it.
Yeah, the art form of it, or the entertainment purposes or whatever. It's just more the money in the whole thing. But I would have to say that the Halloween. Actually, I would have thought I should have probably put it down a different way. I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre should have been, higher on the list than actually Halloween.
Thank you.
I agree with you on that. I do agree with you on that. I
revised the list. And
I don't know where I was at on that one, but yeah, I agree with you.
Mike Myers or something?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's haunting me in my dreams. Yeah. Well, William Shatner. I'd be more afraid of William Shatner than Michael Myers. Let's go to number 5 on our list. That's where we're at, right? 5, 5.
5 before 6.
That's right. See, he's got to keep me in order. I forget everything.
Notes written down on hand.
Number 5, Friday the 13th.
Another good series that they're running to the ground.
Yeah, exactly. But this is the whole franchise of the slasher movie.
Oh, definitely.
What I mean, as they call it, slasher movie, whatever you want to call it, word slasher. The whole culture of kids growing up with that. I mean, I know I grew up with those,
so did I. Remember in school, around Halloween, everybody was talking about the Friday the 13th movies.
Yeah, exactly, man. And everybody wants to be Jason for Halloween.
Yeah.
Or that.
The bloody hockey mask.
Yeah, exactly.
The machete in the jumpsuit.
Exactly, and I've probably, out of all the times I've went trick-or-treating, probably half of the times I went, in costume and that, I was Michael Myers or Jason or Freddy in that. Ooh, that storm sounds bad out there.
Good time for the Halloween show.
Exactly. But yeah, I really think Friday the 13th is, it's a good movie.
No, are you talking about like the first couple of movies, or the whole thing is a series?
Not the whole thing in general. I would say just the first movie.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? With anything else, with everything, the first movie is going to be the best, of course.
Oh, of course.
And then the second, third, and fourth, whatever is going to be, just kind of a runner-up to that. You know what I mean? And I just see it as a really good, good movie. I think we're running out of time here, man. I mean,
so real quick, where are you going to rate Friday the 13th? Personally, I'd give it about 3.5.
3.5, yeah. I get 3.5. Yeah. All right, let's go through all this here. Number 4, Poltergeist.
Coach.
Yep.
Craig T. Nelson.
Yep. Steven Spielberg film. Craig T. Nelson.
I know you've heard all the rumors surrounding that.
Yes.
All the problems and the
yes. Craig T. Nelson, he once said that a lot of weird things happened when they were filming that program, that movie. So it you know, it makes you wonder, you know, about it. But as far as the movie goes, I thought it was a very good movie. I mean, it really had good visual effects. Yeah, hands on the TV, they're back. Yeah, I mean, and I would have to say, out of all the movies that I say that a sequel is no good to, I would have to say that movie really, a sequel worked with it.
Yeah, actually, yeah, looking back, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it worked. It kind of went in the line, you know, the first, second, you know, and you know, all the way through, and it worked better in there to explain it more thoroughly what was going on with the movie and the storyline, you know. And I really do believe it worked out better, you know, I mean, than most movies would with sequels or whatever. But yeah, I put Poltergeist up there, and I would have to give that probably 4 stars.
I'd say 4.
Yeah,
about right.
About 4 stars, because that was a really intense movie that really, you know, scared me. Number 3, let's go to number 3, Nightmare on Elm Streer. Freddy. Yeah, Freddy. Nightmare on Elm Street, once again, there's a movie. The first one was a really good movie.
They just started running it into the ground.
Yeah, they did. And you know what I think a lot of the problem was with 2, 3, and all that, is they started showing Freddy. You know what I mean? Anytime you start showing your character...
They started showing him a little too much.
Yeah.
To the point where he was basically in every scene.
Exactly, you know, and you can't be afraid of something, really, that you know what it is.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that element of surprise in the darkness...
What I liked about it is the fact that he'd only attack in people's dreams.
Yeah.
When they're sleeping and they're vulnerable.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, after seeing it, I was afraid to fall asleep.
Yeah, I was too. Because it did. It's something. Your dreams is something that you know you can't control.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And it really did. You know what I mean? Scare you to go to sleep or whatever. But yeah, it was a good movie. And once again, there's a movie where they should have not went more than one.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They should have kept it right at that. You know what I mean? And left it at that. Let's go on through our list before we run out of time here. Number 2, Amityville Horror.
Yeah.
Amityville Horror. Yes.
They claim it's based on another true story.
Yes, it is. It's based on where a young man went in and killed his whole family in the house and said that someone in the shadows told him to do it or whatever. And the gentleman who this really happened to, he died just not too long ago.
No,
I mean, yeah, he died just not too long ago. And they asked him before he died if he had ever lied about it. You know what I mean? And on his deathbed, he said no, that he did not.
Well, then again, I also had psychics that he claimed in a book. This particular psychic came in and examined the house.
Yeah.
And said yes, it was true. And whereas the psychic never talked to the guy before.
Yeah.
It was just completely made up.
Yeah. So it makes you wonder, you know, whether it is. But as far as the movie goes, the first movie was good.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there again, the sequels kind of went out of hand and got a little bit off the wall and overboard. But it was a good movie. I mean, as far as brightness to it and all that, I would say it was a really good movie. I would give it 4 stars as well.
I'd give it 3.5.
3.5.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, 3.5. Let's go to number 1. Number 1.
Big one.
Number 1. The Exorcist. Yes.
Classic Exorcist.
Yes.
I believe at this point everybody's seen The Exorcist.
Yes, I believe so as well, man. Exorcist is a movie that, from my religious standpoint, that I can see is really happening. You know what I mean? And there again, that was taken off of a real account.
It was, yeah.
Okay? That was taken out of the Vatican archives off of a real incident that happened, except it didn't happen to a little girl, it happened to a little boy. That was the only difference in it, you know what I mean? And none of the spinning of the head and stuff like that, you know what I mean? But as far as the movie goes, the movie was really scary.
The makeup.
Yes, it was good. It was good. The spinning of the head, the projectile vomiting, yeah. And then there's parts of that movie they cut out too.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And when they added those back in, those were intense. I mean, those were just the most intense thing I think I've ever seen. You know what I mean? And some would say even sacrilegious. You know, on some of them. You know what I mean?
Yes, I've heard about the disputes against those certain scenes.
Yeah, exactly.
See, one scene that scared me. It was the young priest was having a flashback. He was running through that subway, and screen flashed that black and white face really quick.
Yeah, that was.
That scared me more than seeing a possessed little girl.
Yeah, it did. And they've tried to mimic that now with like the exorcism of Emily Rose, and different ones, which we'll talk about probably next week here because of the new movies we're going to be doing. But we're going to be running out of time here in just a couple minutes, so we're just going about this. But The Exorcist, I believe, was a really, really well put together movie for,
I think it was also very original for its time.
Yeah, back in the 70s when all this, stuff, experimental stuff was, movies and things like that. It was a really, really good movie that had substance to it. You know what I mean? It was a good scary movie.
It was, yeah.
You know what I mean? And as far as scary movies go, when I say substance to it, I don't really believe a scary movie has to have all that much substance to it.
It's not about things, where it's quiet, no music, and something just, when some music starts playing, something just jumps out at you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's, to me, it's not scary. It's, I don't know, startling? Or,
yeah, it startles you, yeah.
I don't know. To me, horror is something that could actually happen, and then actually puts
exactly.
fear into you.
Exactly, and The Exorcist is something that I, see as more scary probably than Freddy Krueger or Jason or something like that.
Because there's no way a burned guy with the claw gloves.
Exactly.
Possession,
Yeah. So, what do you give Exorcist?
I give it a 4.5.
4.5?
Yeah.
I give it 4.5 as well.
I think it was excellent.
I give it 4.5 as well.
Let's recap our top 10.
Yeah, our top 10. Number 10 was Phantasm. Number 9 was Carrie. Number 8 was Pet Cemetery. Number 7 was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Number 6 was Halloween. Number 5 was Friday the 13th. Number 4 was Poltergeist. Number 3 was Nightmare on Elm Street. And number 2 was Amityville Horror. And number 1 was The Exorcist.
That's right.
And like I said, I wanted to put more in there, but that's about all we got out of it.
It's hard to pick out of all the excellent classic horror movies to pick just 10.
That's right. Well, we're out of time for this week, but we'll see you next week with our modern horror films, and we'll talk to you then. Thank you for watching. Please write to us if you have any questions or would like show ideas or anything like that.
That's right. Comments,
and
disagreements.
We'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.